New reports reveal a crazy trade update in the Bronx. The Yankees are further pursuing the idea of a reunion with the Chicago Cubs' current pitcher Jameson Taillon. Can Brian Cashman get this deal done? Welcome to Yankees Digest. I am your host, Gabby Gordon, and I welcome you in today because we've got a ton to talk about. But before we get down to business, if you're among the 94.1% not currently subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button right now. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, about to hit 700, and it is so very close. We cannot wait for this mark, and you could be a part of the journey. So please hit that subscribe button so that you never miss a single video. But that is right, we're going to talk about more of Jameson Taillon today. Now, we actually had a video just last week on Jameson Taillon and the initial reports, and these reports are seemingly growing as the weeks get closer and closer to the trade deadline. At the time I'm filming this, it is July 26th, and we know the trade deadline is just days away at this point, and the Yankees haven't really done anything yet, and they haven't done anything. Let's just put it pretty simply. So we have to cover every single ounce of information. So let's get straight into it. Jameson Taillon, just to refresh you a little bit, this is the 32-year-old pitcher for the Chicago Cubs. Now, as we know, he played in pinstripes just a few years back, and a lot of controversy whether or not he is a piece that the Yankees should pursue. Now, just looking at his statistics, 2.96 ERA in 17 games and 100 innings pitched. They're good stats. They're not mind-blowing, but they're good stats, and it's one of his best seasons, if not his best season as a baseball player thus far. Now, just taking a look at the report itself, this is from last night, in fact. Quote, according to sources, the Astros, Orioles, Red Sox, and Yankees are among the teams that have expressed interest in the Cubs' right-handed pitcher, Jameson Taillon. So what does all of this mean? Well, we knew they were expressing interest, but now it is more of a official boost. Before it was rumors, now it's reports. So what does this all mean? Well, this could mean that the Yankees are absolutely going after him and are going to be in a war against the Astros, the Orioles, the Red Sox, and maybe any other teams that could show interest within the last minute for Jameson Taillon. Or this could just be like we'll see what happens. Maybe if the others drop out of this bidding race and they're willing to give up a little bit less, we'll see. How much are you willing to give up for Jameson Taillon is the real question. And the Cubs, who are absolutely sellers coming into the trade deadline, and don't expect to be buyers at all because of their lackluster, pretty disgusting season, it's like, how much value would they expect for a guy like Jameson Taillon? Now, just looking directly at his statistics, if we're looking at the contract of the statistics here, just at the numbers, crunching some numbers, he was signed to a 4-year, $68 million deal before the 2023 season, which to me, that's a high value right there and then. And of course, as we know, Breslow was the assistant GM and vice president of the Chicago's pitching department at that time. So the reason that the Red Sox are kind of now in this race is because now during this season, Breslow is now part of the front office of the Boston Red Sox. So it could be a reunion for them as much as it is a reunion for the New York Yankees. But if we're just taking a look at his statistics in itself, a little bit beyond what we just saw on the other graphic, if we look a little bit deeper here, 2.96 ERA, 78 Ks, 21 walks, over 100.1 innings. Now, his walk rate is in the 89th percentile in the league, and what this really shows is that he's had significant improvement from his first campaign with the club, and, of course, with the Yankees as well, he had some great success, but he also had some very, very deep failure. So these statistics absolutely show improvement. Not just improvement, they show consistency, and he's getting the strikeouts. He has a beautiful breaking ball. It is something that's going to warrant swings and misses, and that's obviously something the Yankees pitching staff has not had, and the Yankees pitching staff has been quite lackluster. If we look at Gerrit Cole, he came back from injury and he started to accumulate a little bit back to that Cy Young Award winning caliber, but he was out for quite some time. He has an ERA of 5.4 and he's given up 9 home runs and 21 total earned runs. So, this is not the Gerrit Cole that we know and love. It's not the ace that we expect. And then of course, you look at the rest of their rotation. Carlos Rodon's ERA is at 4.42. Nestor Cortes, 3.99. And those two have not been much better at all. And then, of course, a team ERA somehow ranks top 5 in the MLB. That's being helped by Luis Gil and his 3.10. But other than that, you're looking at these stats and it's like, this is a mediocre pitching staff. The bullpen's mediocre. The only guy that you can really point to right now is Luke Weaver, and he's really the only reliable source there. Clay Holmes is a big issue as well. Now, obviously, if Jameson Taillon is coming in, he's coming into this rotation, and that's going to be something interesting to see, for sure. He's going to be coming into this rotation just kind of assuming the old role that he probably had with New York when he was in pinstripes. But if you're looking at the pitching staff, this is a mediocre team. Offensively as well. That's a separate story. But overall, if we're looking at the defensive side and specifically within the pitching staff, this is a mediocre franchise within your rotation and within your bullpen. Now, I know there's injuries. I know certain guys will be hopefully coming back from these injuries very shortly, and I totally get that. And things happen, and the Yankees have been plagued with a pitching staff array of injuries. But even when all these guys are back to 110%, to me, I think this is still very mediocre, and I just don't think it cuts it enough to go out here and win a World Series, quite honestly. It just really doesn't seem like it's possible. Now, if we just take a look at the standings here, heading into the trade deadline, and now we're in the second half of baseball, and it's like the time is now, and the Yankees just seem to be kind of free-falling downward, and it just hasn't gotten better. 0-4 against the Mets this year is something you don't want to see, and with a two-game loss streak right now, they're 2 games back out of first place, and obviously it's very doable to take the AL East top spot again, but what are we looking at here? It's like, this is pretty mediocre baseball. 577 win percentage, 60-44 this year, and they're only up 3.5 games within the wild card. If we look within the wild card, this is what we get. Baltimore, Cleveland, and Houston, of course, are the AL leaders, and then the Yankees would be the top wild card spot, and then the Twins, and then the Royals, and then you got the battling teams in the hunt with the Red Sox, Mariners, Rays, Rangers, and Tigers. All of these teams, to me, could swoop in and take this spot from the Yankees 110%, because if the Yankees continue to free fall like this, it's going to fall out of reach, and a lot of this, unfortunately, has to do with pitching and has to do with blowing games late and not being able to support an offense who is struggling right now. Offenses go through slumps. It is that time in which the pitching staff has to be able to shut down opposing hitters, and when your staff can't do that, and your team's not hitting, you're not going to win games. It's just how baseball works. It's pretty common sense. And that's the exact issue the Yankees are facing right now. Their offense, aside from Judge and Soto and maybe 1 or 2 other pieces in there who are just inconsistent, you don't have much offensively. When you don't have that, you're not scoring runs. Maybe 1, 2, 3 at most. I mean, sometimes you get the occasional crazy 9-run bomb from the Yankees, but it's also very inconsistent when they do that. And so you need your pitching staff to be able to back up a poor offensive performance by holding the opposing team to low runs, keep the game competitive. And that's been the problem for the Yankees in this first half, and now we're seeing it again in the second half, and it's like moves have to be made. Maybe Jameson Taillon could be that move. He's already played in New York. He knows the vibes. He was a good teammate, and he was a decent pitcher. Maybe not the most reliable at all points, but he's a pretty consistent guy, in my opinion, and this season may even be one of his best, if not his best, of all-around baseball. So let me know in the comments what you think about this. Do you want Jameson Taillon back in pinstripes? Do you want to stay far away from him? And, of course, the real question is, what are the Cubs going to be asking for? And what do they value him at? That's really the big question here, is like, if the Yankees are going to go after this piece, what do they have to give up? And so that's really interesting as well, but the reports reveal they're interested and they're going after him. So we're going to have to see how this all transpires. But with all that being said, that is going to wrap up this episode of Yankees Digest. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you like what you see, you want to keep following us as we cover all things New York Yankees, hit that subscribe button right now so that you never miss a video. Again, we're on the way to 1,000 subs, and it is so close that we could taste it. So we're very excited for that and appreciate every single one of you who come and watch these vids. With all that being said, this has been Yankees Digest. I've been your host, Gabby Gordon, and I will catch you in the next one.